If you haven't tried the Gin Basil Smash yet, I'm about to blow your mind. This is the perfect combination between herbs, botanicals, and citrus, which makes it an all year round perfect drink for those hot summery nights and those cool, chill, cozy winter evenings. So let's make the Gin Basil Smash and let me blow your mind. Cheers. The Gin Basil Smash is actually a pretty new drink that now has become a modern classic. It was created back in 2008, so just around the corner actually, in Hamburg, Germany, which is actually where I'm located. Well, not in Hamburg, but in Germany. So the creator of this drink, his name was Jörg Meyer. No, Jörg Meyer. Jörg? Jörg. I have problems pronouncing these weird words that I do in German because German is actually not my first language. But I think his name was Jörg, Germany then. Oh my god. Jörg Meyer, if I'm pronouncing this correctly. And he created this drink at the bar Lion Bar de Paris. I guess I'm pronouncing that one right. He wanted to create this drink. He wanted to craft a cocktail that's simple, fresh, accessible, and has this green color that's known for basil. Basically, he wanted to create a drink that is simple, fresh, and accessible with a green color to fit that basil theme. And he took inspiration from the 19th century whiskey smash, which was a trend at the time to mix fresh herbs into crafted cocktails. Makes it basically an all year round cocktail, which kind of makes sense why it became this classic drink that we know and love today. Like living in Germany, I can tell you this is like one of the go-to favorite drinks to drink over here, and this is why I had to get into this drink. By the way, this is my first time filming in daylight, so basically we'll be day drinking today. Get on the train with me and let's make this Gin Basil Smash. One thing that needs to be known, you're going to need a muddler for this, so it's not only going to be a shaken drink, it's going to be muddled as well. So we'll be muddling first and then we'll be shaking it to break down the basil that's in the drink. So first of all, what I do is I want to get my small tin. Usually what we do is we build the drinks in the bigger tin, but since I'll be muddling it, it's easier to do it in a small one because that fits perfectly. If I try and muddle in this one, it's going to be more difficult since I might cut myself. And if you do have a Boston shaker, the one that I do, you might want to think about or watch out when you muddle, because you can cut yourself like really nasty with the edges of these ones. Where it goes like under the nail, what it happened to me, so I'm speaking from experience, where it was a crazy night or rush hour, so drinks coming in after drinks, people screaming. It was a crazy night, and I was doing like a couple of Gin Basil Smash a night, so I had to muddle the hell out of these drinks. And you know, when you're all in the flow, in the motion, in the movement, and you're just going at it. So yeah, I really had a nasty cut like underneath my fingernail, and yeah, it hurt for about a few weeks. So watch out when you're muddling this drink. But come to think of it, I might get a glass. Let me get a glass shaker just so you can see how the drink is being made. I think that might be a better idea. Let me get that for you. Okay, so I found a glass one, which is perfect. You can see how I'm doing the drink, but also at the same time, I don't cut myself if I'm muddling this one, which is way more, less of a safety risk, if you can call it a safety risk, because it's not life-threatening. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start off with about 8 to 12 mint leaves. This is the original recipe I'm doing, by the way, onion basil leaves. As you know me, I'll be doing a few stems in there as well. So you take your basil, I'm basically just eyeballing this, but if you want to count along, it's usually like 8 to 12. But it depends. I mean, if you want yours to be more on the herbal note, you like that basil taste, you could put that in there. I think I want to add something, maybe like a little bit more simple syrup to break down, just something flowy, something kind of liquid, because I'm trying to break down that basil. I find it's real easier to muddle that way. So muddle down, twist, do that a few times till you start smelling that intensive smell that basil gives you. It kind of reminds you of pesto if you made homemade pesto before. Alright, so I'll put this over to the side. Now I'll start off with my lemons. So as usual, we're always using fresh lemons over here. And as I always do, roll out my lemons. So soften it up, cut through the middle, get out your juicer. That's one half, that's the second half. Okay, put this back over to the side. Alright. Jigger. So, start off with our lemon juice. This will now be 25 milliliters or 0.85 ounces. Oops. So 25 milliliters or 0.85 ounces. I have to really concentrate because this one doesn't. This is more like eyeballing it right now. Alright, that goes in there. So the reason why I'm leaving my muddle in there is because there was a few basil leaves stuck to this, so more liquid means it's better to get that out of the way. Next, I'll be doing simple syrup. This is not going to be as sweet of a drink because I'm using gin, which is a lighter type of spirit. With lighter spirits, you don't really need to use much sugar. Then when you do like a real strong, intensive type spirit, like let's say a whiskey, like if you use a whiskey or you use a dark rum, for instance, those ones I will usually go more on the sweeter side. It depends on the rum, of course. Like if you use a spice rum, I wouldn't use much syrup because those ones tend to be more on the sweeter side. But usually darker spirits, you might want to use more sugar. Alright, so the simple syrup intake will be like 15 milliliters or half an ounce. So half an ounce, 15 milliliters. Alright, put that in there as well. And of course, the best part, gin. Let me know what you guys think about gin. Usually gin is like a type of spirit where kind of like a go-to drink. Well, these days I've been seeing more of a trend when it comes to gins because a lot of people are like on the whiskey side, like it's too much for me, it's too intense. And then vodka is like, there's people like me, I'm not really the type of vodka guy, so I don't really drink vodka. And therefore, because it doesn't taste like nothing to me, you know? It's just like strong, I don't know, water, makes any sense. And I like flavored things, so gin is like that perfect balance in between those two worlds, I would say, where people would be like, okay, I don't drink vodka, or I don't drink whiskey. Yeah, let's get together and just like drink gin, because it's lighter and it has flavor. So gin is gonna be like 50 milliliters or 1.7 ounces. Alright. And we'll be dumping that in there as well. make sure you always clean your space. Your bar space has to be clean at all times. Now, I'll be trying to shake with as much ice as you can. For you really have to break down this drink. This is one of those drinks where you have to shake it for a little longer, and I just made a mistake. Don't do that. Ice goes in the second tin, so usually the other way around. You would be doing it putting ice in the smaller tin as like a general rule. But as I've been building it in that glass for you guys to see. We've been putting ice in the big tin. Fight me if you want to. Alright, so we got our ice in there. Great, that's sealed. I'm just gonna get my glass out, show you guys around. You're gonna need like a rocks glass or a rocks glass or something like a whiskey tumbler, if that's what you call it. And I'm gonna put on like some kind of like moderate to big block of ice. There's a technique to shaking this one. Well, it's not complicated, it's just shake it long and hard, because you have to really integrate all of that ingredients into that gin to get that nice basil taste. So, let's go. Perfect. Okay. And this is a drink that's I was gonna say, like, if you're gonna double strain a drink, something like this, you definitely have to. You do not want any of that basil in your mouth when you're drinking this. It's gonna really kill the experience, and you're probably gonna have a bad first impression. You wouldn't really like this drink at all because of that. So yeah, double strain into your tumbler. Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna switch glasses. All right, so I think it's gonna look way better in this tumbler / brandy glass. So let me get my ice out of this one. Try not to spill. Usually this is not something I like to do, but I guess for the presentation, I think it looks better that way. All right. Garnish. So we will be garnishing with some basil. Try and get out the best looking one you got. I like to do like the top part, which is like more compact, with like maybe like 2 leaves on the side. Slap it on your wrist to activate those aromas. That means you smell the drink while you're drinking it. Alright, I'm already starting to smell it right now. And then all that excess stems you don't need, and just layer this at the top. There you go, the Gin Basil Smash. Now for the best part ever, the taste test. My God, it's so green. It looks appetizing though. Wow. My mom used to always like force me to eat my greens when I was a child. Let's hope that this drink is going to be the thing that's going to convince me to intake my greens. Alright, cheers. That is is beautiful. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. It is... It has a lot of complexity to it because of that herbal note. The basil in there, it has a lot of complex taste that's playing on my taste buds right now. So the gin and the botanicals, which is like playing around with that herbal note, which is just a perfect match, with the citrus giving it a fresh kick. I can see myself drinking this in summer. Winter, if I sweeten this up a little, it would also be the perfect winter drink. For something on the more lighter side, if you don't want to drink something too heavy in winter, I could see myself ordering this. So you taste basil, you taste the gin, citrusy, which is a perfect balance between the two, which create that like a bridge over, if that makes any sense. Yeah, this is a nice drink. And I can tell you for sure, me myself living in Germany, they are really, really proud of this drink. And I can see why. Like, this is something that I can drink all night if I'm on a night out with the guys or with some friends. Perfect. All right. That was the Gin Basil Smash. Let me fix this real quick. Oops. And now I spilled. That's the Gin Basil Smash. So I hope you like this video. I hope you'll be able to catch along or create this drink along as I do it as well. I hope this video really helped you. I hope you enjoyed it, and drink responsibly. Catch you on the next one.